I don't know. I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could go through life being a butt, though.
Welcome back, everyone, to S1E1, the show where each week we pick a different sitcom, watch just the first televised episode, forgetting anything we might know about the future run of that show, rate it and decide if it's a show we want to greenlight or cancel. This week we're going to be talking about Corner Gas. Corner Gas went 107 episodes over 6 seasons on CTV. Today we're talking about episode 1. It was called Ruby Reborn, originally airing January 22nd, 2004. To get things started, I'm Jay Gags. With me, as always, the boys, some of them, Berg and Nick, and Gordo should be joining us a little later on. What's going on, guys?
Hey-o.
Hey.
So, Corner Gas, first off, I want to just mention, we wanted to try to get a few of these fan picks in, because we keep telling you guys to recommend some picks, so we wanted to, actually get through this list a little bit. Corner Gas, we got a couple messages. Curtis and Garrett both on Instagram messaged us like, I don't know, like almost like a week apart at one point. And I was like, oh, we should probably look into this one then. But this was a show I never heard of, but apparently had a really big Canadian following.
Yeah, I never heard of this one.
Big fan base.
But like, you guys are like Letterkenny and Trailer Park Boys. Is that Canadian also?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, I figured maybe you guys, that's not really like where I tend to follow.
It's funny, too, because it's in the same... Trailer Park Boys was first, but this is still 2004. It's a long time ago. So they were like kind of running at the same time at one point.
And I could definitely see like these shows having some crossover fan base.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
What it is for me is Trailer Park Boys was on Netflix. This wasn't on anything, so I didn't accidentally come across this or anything
well,
like that.
now you can, because it's on most of the free streamers. It's on Plex, Pluto. You can watch it on Prime. Zumo Play, it said. I didn't double check. I don't even know what Zumo Play is.
What about Tubi?
Probably, but XUMO, have you guys heard of that one?
Zumo, yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
I didn't know that one existed.
That Plex one's starting to make a name for itself.
Plex is good. Plex and for live TV and Tubi are pretty good. Although my fucking basement TV, like the smart functionality, is shitting the bed on me, so I couldn't watch it on that today.
As far as like the free ones, you know what I mean? Yeah, Plex is definitely getting a lot of decent stuff to watch.
It's funny how full circle we've gone too, because like it's really nice to have like a live option. And so like all the cord cutters, myself included, are like, man, fuck cable, this, that, and the other thing. And then like years later, we're like, oh man, it's nice to have this live TV, but you just got to deal with some commercials. It's fine. It's like, what? This is what we were trying to get rid of in the first place. And now we've been desensitized to it, and now it's normal again.
Well, you know what? I've talked about this in the past, and it's funny because there's so many shows we've covered, right? Like, I think you would mention, like, According to Jim, which we did a while back. It's just a show you always just kind of remembered seeing on in the kitchen in the background and stuff like that. But we don't really have those anymore because you have to consciously put something on.
Yeah.
So I don't, like, go on Netflix and just toss on... I don't hit play at random and then just go about my day.
That's the funny thing, too, is because it's still not the case even with the live ones. So there are live channels on the Plexes and the Plutos and stuff like that just kind of play whatever. But there's also, like, dedicated channels. Like, I think it's Pluto has, like, the According to Jim channel.
Roku's good for that, too. I think this is actually also on Roku.
I was gonna say the Roku channels are wicked good. Like there's a National Lampoon's channel, and they just play great stuff.
And just out of curiosity, Ferg, when he said the Plexes and the Plutos, did you hear that as Bill Cosby?
No,
I thought that I thought that's why
the Plexes
you laughed.
and the Plutos.
The Plex.
I saw you laugh, and I was like, "Oh, because that's where my brain went." So I was wondering if we were on the same page. And I'm sorry. Like I said, Gordo should be here later. We hope. He's doing his best to join in. And Joe can't. So his neighbor's a beekeeper, and what happened was something happened, and like the whole setup in the backyard got knocked over. And Joe just for safety purposes and making sure nothing gets in the house, whatever, took the family, and they're just kind of staying out of the area for a little bit. So. Hopefully all that stuff gets resolved and there's no bees flying around in the house. But he just felt better safe than sorry, and we totally understand.
Yeah, Joe can't see without his glasses.
Macaulay Culkin just did Hot Ones.
Oh, I gotta watch that one.
That was a good one. So yeah, Rotten Tomatoes does not have anything listed for this one, but it did have the movie and animated series. So I don't know why I didn't have the show.
How many seasons did this go?
This was a 6-season show, 107 episodes.
Okay.
And then like years later, we ended up getting an animated series. There was a movie, like I just said. So
That's funny. Trailer Park Boys took the same path.
Yeah.
They moved to an animated show.
So how many years until we get the Letterkenny animated show then? Is that next?
Honestly, probably. Actually, I don't know. They seem to be a little more self-aware.
No, because we got Shorzy after Letterkenny, so they don't even need to go back.
Phenomenal. And go back and listen to all those. We've covered all those shows. Real quick before we go any further, to S1E1pod.com is where you can listen to all our episodes. Social medias are listed there. S1E1 pod on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, Instagram. So hit us up. Like we said, this one was recommended by a couple of you. So also do the same thing. Follow us and give us your suggestions, and we'll give them a look, and hopefully we'll get to them.
When Gordo gets hit, you think he'll pretend to have seen Jaws?
You think when Gordo gets here, he's going to pretend to have seen Corner Gas?
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
That too, yeah.
To get right into it, first scene, we see like a close-up of a sign, and it's for a gas station called Corner Gas, and it pans over, and we can see it's attached to like a cafe, and there's a convenience store, and a car's pulling in to get filled up. That's when we first meet Brent Leroy, who's played by Brent Butt.
Yeah. Team fart, baby. We got a main character named Brent Butt, baby. Let's go.
Brent Butt is the creator of the show, wrote for a lot of it, is the star of the show. Here he plays Brent Leroy, though, and he's talking to this guy who's getting filled up, and they're in the middle of like Saskatchewan, which is like the middle of nowhere, Canada, which is where like Brock Lesnar moved to be away from people. So this is for a vibe. This is what where he's at these days.
Real quick, going back to the Butt, you change your name if your last name's Butt, right? Like if like you're coming of age, you're 18 years old, you can kind of do it if you need to. Your last name is Butt. Like if you were J Butt.
But then, like, it becomes an issue because, like, the family, you know what I mean? Like, depending on where you sit with that stuff, so.
I mean, like, add an E. Say it's, like, Butte or something. I don't know. I don't know if I could do it.
Butte.
Yeah. I mean, he's a Patriot, right? Keyshawn Booty?
Yeah.
But, I don't know if I could go through life being a butt, though,
I think once you get to a certain age, though, you probably heard every joke you could imagine, right? So.
See more butts.
Everybody's thinking, like, especially like you're in a work environment, you're sending emails, you're on people's Teams chats or whatever, and it's just butt everywhere. Can you
imagine that poor guy going to school with us?
Yeah, or anybody. It's not just us.
We were terrible.
Well, I was going to say us as kids, and now let alone where you both reacted to that name at age 39. So
that's funny though.
But yeah, so Brent's talking to this guy, and while he's filling him up, like it's right off the bat, I'll say this show reeks of Canada, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but
oh yeah.
Wow, is this show Canadian?
But it's shot beautifully. I'm like shocked by how good the camera work is.
Did anybody else get a vibe from another show we've covered? Because the very first shot, like the pan down and the music was very Scrubs, in my opinion. It had the very similar music and that weird, like they had a lot of the same camera, like establishing shots, but mainly the music seemed very, very similar to like the interstitials and Scrubs.
I get that, yeah.
And I think that's probably around the same time, too.
Close. It's probably a little after, because it's 2004. I think Scrubs started a little before that. I can't remember off the top of my head now.
Yeah, maybe.
The conversation is basically the guy who's getting filled up is just like driving through, and he's talking about how like flat the area is. And that's like the whole conversation. And he's like, what, like topography? Like it's flat like that? And Brent's extremely sarcastic.
Yeah.
The entire conversation and
the entire show.
He has his buddy Hank. Yeah. And Hank's like nearby. Hank's his buddy, and he's like getting him on this. He's like, oh, he's talking about how flat it is. He's like, oh, how do you mean? He's like, no, there's lots to see here. And they talk about how that's because there's nothing to block the view. And if you look, and I think it's intentionally shot this way, but I mean, you can't see even a neighboring house in any direction
from
where this gas station is. It's just like it. I think realistically, show-wise, it's probably not that terribly far in the middle of nowhere. Like, they're still within a town. But as far as you can see here, like, nothing's an easy walk to this gas station.
Yeah, I wondered that. It's, I mean, obviously it's actually filmed in Saskatchewan, but it's in Rouleau. I should look that up.
Well, the town, like, that they record, like, it's a fake town. So, like, this whole show takes place in what's it supposed to be, Dog River?
Yeah.
Dog River's not a real place, but it's within Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan's a real place, and, you know, that's like the province, right? So.
Yeah. I love Canadian provinces. They're so neatly assigned. Like, they're just like rectangles.
It's like if the U.S. was divided into like 10 instead of 50.
4 parts. Yeah. But yeah, no, this place, like, go look up Rouleau, if you're, you know, on your phone or at your computer listening to us, Rouleau, and you can kind of get an idea, just like put that satellite view on Google Maps. It is just square farmland for as far as the eye can see. It is like, and it's, you know, it's closer to the U.S. as far as Saskatchewan goes. It's not super close, but yeah, you can be up in the Arctic pretty much, Saskatchewan too. But this is more closer to societies, I guess.
When they're talking, Brent's trying to defend how there's plenty. He's like, look, right over here, there's a whole mountain range. And he looks over and there's absolutely nothing. He's like, oh, that's weird. Could have sworn there's a whole big mountain range back there, all purple and majestic. Like, oh, I must have been thinking about a postcard I saw or something. It is kind of flat. Thanks for pointing that out. And the guy's like, are you always this sarcastic? Well, there's nothing else to do. I'll say right off the bat from the opening scene, my initial, like, what I had to calibrate to Brent's cadence.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't pick up on that he was being sarcastic until the other guy said so.
Well, he's like, his delivery is very slow and dry, extremely slow and dry.
Yeah.
And not in a way unlike other shows we've mentioned before with some characters, but not everybody's like that on the show, but like, he happens to be, and he's the driving force and the person we're going to hear talk the most.
Yeah.
And at first it was like, it wasn't like, I had to warm up to it. I'll say like my initial perception versus as I continued watching and like got more used to it. Like, but it really took my brain like a minute to like get used to this guy. Right after that, we get to the intro of the show, and it like, I actually like the intro a lot. It starts with like this wide shot, and it's like, it's a wide shot. It shows the whole, like I said, there's a convenience store and a cafe like attached to the gas station. And it does these like zooms to each of the main characters on the show, and like kind of just, you know, I'll show them real quick in something that's kind of like conducive to their environment. So see like Brent to the gas station, Lacey at the cafe, and it just kind of cuts around to everyone. The song is called Not a Lot Going On. It was written for the show as the intro, by two guys, Craig Northey, who is in a Canadian band called Odds that was pretty popular up there, and Jesse Valenzuela from the Gin Blossoms.
Hey.
And they recorded an album together. This is on as it was just like a one-off like collaboration called Northey Valenzuela, which and it's just basically their like, it's just their last names, but I don't know why it sounds so funny together.
Worked for Holland Oates.
Northey Valenzuela. I don't know if you can find that on Spotify. I don't think you can. Gin Blossoms. I wish Joe was around for that. Joe would have been pretty excited. No, I thought this was a good intro.
I like the theme song.
Yeah, I do too. It was an ear grabber.
I didn't even like the first go through. I didn't, and then when they play it again for the end credits, I was like, "Oh, that's a good song." I was like, "Is that the same at the beginning?" I was like,
Yeah.
"Yep."
Just kind of got that feel good vibe.
Yeah, it's an upbeat, like you could, like when I mentioned the Gin Blossoms, you know what I mean? It's like, it's very like of that kind of slightly older, like alternative rock. It's a good upbeat vibe. It's also like the intro itself, we're getting shots of every character. It works. It's giving you what you need. Also, like even with the song, it's acknowledging like this whole basic premise of the show. It's a gas station in the middle of Saskatchewan, right? Not exciting, but it's pointing out like the comedy and what situations can arise in an area where nothing's going on. So it kind of like, it's basically like this whole show is going to be based around the idea of like making mountains out of molehills.
Yeah.
Canadian Clerks.
Yeah, I thought the same thing too, especially later on we'll get into the movie rental and stuff. I was like, oh shit. He's definitely drawing from this at least.
It was definitely some Kevin Smith influence.
Yeah, I'd say, and we're talking like 10 years removed from when that movie came out. So
Yeah.
And then next scene after the intro, we have Brent walking into the convenience store. It looks like it's a continuation right after that intro scene. So he's done with that customer. Hank's inside, and he's complaining about how bad the coffee is in the convenience store. He's like, "Oh, let me refund your money then. What did you pay for it? Oh, 0." And then he goes like, "Beep, boop, boop," and he's like making fake noises at the register. All right, here you go.
I was really thrown off because they're supposed to be the same age. They grew up together, and Hank looks significantly younger.
He does. I agree.
Like, I thought he was his like little buddy employee type thing until later when they say it. That like they've known each other since they were 6.
Yeah, I think it's like overall looks. You know what I mean? Like he's like smaller in stature and just like Brent's like, like his hair's thinning. He's got his glasses. So like he's just like those little things just kind of. One will make you look a little younger, one will make you look a little older, and then two guys who are essentially the same age don't look the same age.
Yeah, it's even Hank, the way he dresses. He has the backwards hat and like bigger clothes. He looks like a kid to me.
And he has that like little brother vibe to him, the way he's, how he acts a lot.
Yeah, 100%. First impressions, don't like him. He kind of agitated me, and like not in a way that like he's maybe supposed to agitate you. He was kind of annoying, and I didn't like it.
They don't give his character a lot of reasons to like him. You know what I mean? Throughout, like, there's no little, oh, he's annoying and he has all these bad qualities, but he's a sweetheart. Like, you don't get the other side of the coin with them very much.
For the most part, I do. As the episode progresses, I come around on him a little bit. Yeah, initially wasn't a fan.
They start talking about like, when's the coffee shop going to be opening up again? We find out that like Lacey, who we just saw in the intro, she just took over the store. Her Aunt Ruby used to own the cafe. She passed away. So now her niece, who like lived in Toronto, moved over, and now she's going to reopen her aunt's cafe. But in the meantime, it's been closed, and now there's no good coffee for them to drink like while they're at the gas station.
Ferg, I know you're not a coffee guy, but can you imagine this? Right? Like I've kind of fallen out of coffee too myself, but to have in a place like this where there's not a lot going on, obviously probably not a lot of options for coffee, maybe the only option for coffee, to have it to just disappear. Because at first I was like, man, these people are harping on the coffee. Like, it's kind of crazy, like how much they're harping on it. But then when you really think about it from their perspective, it must suck to have the only place to get a good cup of coffee just disappear.
Well, remember, our town, when we were younger, did not have a Dunkin' Donuts. And
yeah.
We had Cafe Delight.
Yeah, we had just a few local coffee shops and stuff like that. So coffee was...
I miss coffee beans.
Oh, wow. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, great bagels.
Yeah, so it's like those little... Especially in a place like this where there's really nothing going on. So now you're subject to gas station coffee.
I wonder if they give them a good uptick in business. It's people coming there for coffee now.
That's the other thing, too, is like they didn't fill the void well enough. And that was like... kind of Hank's, when he was taking over, you find out later in the episode, like he took it over. That would have been a great opportunity to make some more money had he just capitalized on making better coffee, and he didn't.
We're getting right off the bat, like as they're talking about Lacey taking over, Hank has concerns, right? Like he's not going to change this place up too much, right? Make it one of these fancy Toronto restaurants or eateries, And he's like, I don't know what she's going to do. She says she wants to reveal it all in what he's referring to a gala reopening. And he goes, is it gala or gala? And Brent goes, I don't know, wear whatever you want.
This is my first laugh. I thought that was funny, yeah.
It's funny. The thought of like, kind of like talked about in the show later on too, but like, thought of taking over a business that's already like a town staple. You got your built-in audience coming and stuff and crowd. It's like, it's almost a waste of money to make any changes because you're going to make money regardless.
Yeah, that's true.
Hank's being very like skeptical, and he's like, what do we even know about this person? That's when we see Wanda for the first time, and she pops up. I assume she's just like another worker at the store. He goes, I know she doesn't have cataracts, so you don't have a chance with her. And Brent goes, Scorch.
So Canadian. Scorch.
Wanda, by the way, is Brent Butt's real life wife, Nancy Robertson. So I guess I don't know if she just kept Robertson as a stage name or if she legally changed, but maybe she didn't want to be a Butt, as you were talking about earlier. She's not listed as Nancy Butt.
No Nancy Butt.
So
hey, she's
You're outnumbered, Jay. So
She's in Airbud Spikes Back.
she's in Air Butt.
Yes, Airbud. No, one of the Airbud sequels. I'm looking at her IMDb. A lot of it is just this.
Yeah, these people they seem to be able to just kind of coast off of these shows. Like you don't see many other people from the Letterkennys and the Trailer Park Boys in other things. They just kind of ride these into the ground, and that's that.
This one's actually kind of an interesting case. It's, you know, our classic not to get ahead, but there's no real other, unless I talk about the end of the episode. But this is like a thing where like Brent, who created the show, ends it after 6 seasons, but the show was still very popular. Like it only ended because he wanted to end it. And he said, I don't want to have a show that just kind of drags on forever and loses what it has. And like, I want to leave like while it's popular and doing well. So he could have, like we said with a lot of these other shows, that just keep ticking. You know what I mean? You mentioned Trailer Park Boys earlier, but he thought like, you know, we'll find a good time to get out and we'll get out. But, you know, he did figure out other things to do with the animated series and the movie and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I wish Trailer Park Boys and Letterkenny both followed suit because I feel like they're late season.
it's what happens with a lot of shows. It's tough when you're doing well with the show, and it like if you're the creator and the people involved and the actors, like the more popular any show gets, right? Even when you're kind of losing your steam and your ideas are running low, if the network's like, we'll give you X amount of dollars to do one more season, it's tough to walk away. Yeah. So to have like that creative integrity, like I don't know, like I'm sure like Brent did really well as a creator of a show that's this successful, but he's not like he has an army list long IMDb. So for him to still like have his creative integrity and be like, this is still a good stopping point, like that says a lot.
Yeah, that's because it's an easy way. It's, you know, you could just keep cashing checks if you want to. But Ferg mentioned it recently too about Trailer Park Boys in the later seasons, and I don't hate them, but it's like it's not what I wanted. It's like they're still okay, and then because they did the thing too where they made movies where they would go, or like other specials and stuff where they'd be like overseas and stuff, and they're not bad. They're just not what you want. So you know they tried something new and it didn't work, and so it's kind of nice to see a show that can just be like, all right, yeah, you know, we did it. That's that.
Hank's still going on. He's still like very nervous about this whole. Imagine again, this is like, you know, mountains out of molehills, and he wants to know more about this whole situation. And Brent's kind of like playing along with them, or you know, just kind of getting a rise out. He's like, maybe she doesn't want us in that coffee shop right now because she's turning it into a big meth lab, trying to get all the kids in town hooked on meth and crack cocaine. And then once they're hooked on that, you know what's next? Marijuana, then jazz music, and then forget about it. Because that's the natural progression. Once you get hooked on crack, and then eventually that's a gateway drug to get onto pot.
Then jazz music.
You play jazz flute? Hank's like, he's like, come on, like, why are you like teeing off on me with all this stuff? Like, because I don't want everybody in town gossiping. It's hard enough for Lacey to move from Toronto to Dog River, Saskatchewan, and now, you know, everyone's going to be comparing her to her Aunt Ruby, and those are really big shoes to fill.
I get Hank's way of looking at things. Everybody hates change. Nobody likes change.
Yes, but also like Ruby died, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like Ruby operating this cafe the way that he loved it can't exist, period. So there is something's going to have to change regardless.
But I can see Hank being like, it's being inherited by, you know, her niece, so maybe she'll just leave it the way it is, and now he's finding out that that's not the case, so he's like panicking. I can kind of relate. Yeah,
at this point he just knows that she's taking over and she's not from the area, and that's making him nervous. Hank's starting to say, you know, Dog River's a good town, we'll give her a fair shake. And it cuts to a shot of the newest issue of the local newspaper, the Dog River Howler, which has like the headline, Big City Woman Destroys Landmark. And every time, like, we get a few of these throughout the episode, and each time there's like the newspaper pops up, you get that little like old newsroom like down in the background,
spins at the camera.
I wonder if that's like only watching this episode, I wonder if that's going to be a runner that they do throughout the series, because they do it throughout this episode, so I could see it continuing on.
I'd be surprised if this was the only episode that mentions it.
From that shot, we cut to Lacey now in the store a little later on, and she's reading said newspaper. And Brent's like, yeah, I was hoping you weren't going to see this. And Wanda's going, the guy who runs the papers is desperate for a story. You're the biggest news to hit town since the little space rock landed in the Andersons farm. And Brent goes, killed one of his chickens. And then you get the shot of the newspaper, death from above.
The show is very smart. I like the quick humor, and it's done really well.
Slow-paced quick humor.
Oh yeah, definitely paced differently.
Definitely a Canadian trait. I never saw that until we started watching some of these shows.
You start seeing this running theme. Yeah, it's definitely again, it's like anything else. We've covered a lot of shows from England. We've dabbled in other countries, but there's only other than England, Canada's the only one where we have multiple examples where we've done some shows and you get a vibe for that style of humor and where it differs from what we do here and stuff.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite things about doing this show is you get to see how other countries have their style of sitcom.
Yeah, I wish I know there's other versions of The Office that are English speaking, but there's I've wanted to do wouldn't it be fun if there was enough to do a month of just The Office in other countries?
I would love to do that. Yeah, that'd be cool.
I don't think we have enough English speak. We still haven't done the original, but yeah, eventually, hopefully there'll be a point where we can.
I mean, I'm sure there's dubs and subtitles too. You can get through it.
Lacey's going, after we cut back from that newspaper, Brent's going, he tends to sensationalize. Don't panic. It's not that bad. Lacey says, oh yeah, I suppose they could have run a photo of me in a Hitler mustache tossing puppies into a wood chipper. And Hank goes, does such a photo exist?
That's my favorite line of the whole episode.
And Hank does at this point when he's acquainted to Lacey for the first time, say, hey, my condolences about your Aunt Ruby passing. She was an amazing woman. When Lacey thanks him, he goes, and her apple crumble is about as addictive as crack cocaine, wouldn't you say? Because that was testing the stuff that Brent said to him earlier.
Subtle.
We cut to outside, and this is when we meet the two police officers who are in this show, which is Davis and Karen. And this scene, to be completely honest, is completely expendable. I think we're just trying to introduce us to the characters, and they're two separate squad cars, and they're radioing to one another, and it's just a back and forth of them on the radio talking to each car. And first you see Karen, who's like, car one to car two, car one to car two. He's like, I'm car one. I thought I was car one. No, I'm always car one. But my car has the big one on it. He's like, what do you want? He's checking in and making sure that she's supposed to be hiding, right? So he's asking, are you still in position? And she goes, yes, I'm in the surveillance zone shielded by an appropriate ground cover. And you cut, and it's just the squad car next to a bush.
It's such a small bush, too. It's not even a big bush.
Yeah, it barely covers the two doors of the car, and then there's nothing else in the area. So it's very obviously a car with a bush. Now, technically, though, law's probably different there, because here, if you're intentionally hiding, that's not that exonerates you from getting in trouble, right?
Yeah, I don't know how much of that is old wives' tale or whatever. I've never looked into it specifically, so. But yeah, I have heard that they can't be out of sight completely. But you know what I always think of is, if you've ever driven, other highways do this too, but specifically Route 3, when you're going down towards the Cape, it's just the two lanes, and then there's the authorized vehicle only, whatever. Every few miles, there's that you can cut to go to the opposite direction. You're not allowed to use them yourself, but cops always hang out there, and they are perfectly hidden. So I always think about it on that road, because technically you can't see them until you're past them.
I feel like that's an urban legend. See, the way I always heard it is they could be hidden as long as they had lights on.
Yeah, I heard that too. I also don't like these characters to the point where I'm sure, just because of the small town vibe of the show and stuff like that, that they're necessary. But in this episode, I feel like you could have done without and introduced them maybe in another episode.
Like I said, this scene here this has nothing to do with the episode.
No, it's just introing them, yeah. Yeah,
we're just meeting the characters. They just want to find a reason to show us the characters. Whatever she's hiding in the bushes doing in her car, we don't find out. There's no follow-up to it.
Yeah, it's just to introduce you to their stick of them arguing back and forth on the radio, which they do throughout the episode anytime they cut to them in the car one, car two debate.
And then after that little scene, we get back to the gas station where Brent's hanging up a sign outside that says video rentals. And that's when we meet his dad, Oscar, and he's pulling up in the car and he's going up, right side's low. He's like, how about now? He's like, still low. And he's like trying to adjust. He's like, now it's way too high. As his dad's looking around, he's like, wait a minute, what does that sign say? And he like jumps out of the car.
Do you want me to sound it out for you?
He's like, I can read it, smart guy. He's like, but we don't rent movies. He's like, we didn't rent movies. We do now. And he's like, this isn't a movie house. It's a gas station. He's like, yeah, and a convenience store. And nowhere else in town rents movies. So like folks have to drive all the way to Woolerton if they want to rent a video. And that's not very convenient. And when he says Woolerton, and this is a runner in the episode and apparently in the show, anytime Woolerton is mentioned, it's like the rival town. The two of them just spit on the ground in unison. So anytime anyone hears Woolerton, people just spit on the floor.
Yep.
Is that like I mean, I guess like rival towns do exist. And like we grew up with like Revere was the neighboring town. And it was like, as kids, it was kind of like a rivalry. Cause like
with sports.
Yeah. I don't know. It's probably, I mean, up there, probably hockey rivalries and stuff like that, which was.
But no, remember, it went beyond sports. Like, remember there was a point when you're like in high school and you're like, there's Revere kids in Winthrop. Like, that existed to a degree, you know, as dumb as it is. But, you know, but anytime someone mentioned the city, I wouldn't spit on the ground. And this is kind of something that I've noticed again with a lot of the like Canadian shows that we've covered, where there are these like running gags that like shows like to have. So it's like these kind of like little jokes.
Yeah.
Also, Oscar, I think, is maybe my favorite character.
Oh, he makes the show.
Yeah, he's good.
And there's like a liveliness to him that like I needed desperately. I'll tell you, because like I said, Brent's pace is so dry and slow. And then you have Oscar, who's like very wound up. It just balances in a way that was like I felt very much needed.
I think Oscar? He's more like a real person. You know what I mean? Like the other two, like you just explained, are just kind of exaggerated in two different directions. This guy's just like a normal, frustrated old man, and I like it.
He's that squirt of lemon that ties the dish together.
Yes, yep.
I still watch a lot of Chopped. Oscar saying this is going to confuse people. They're not going to know if this is a gas station or a drive-in theater. He's like, what are you in show business now? The gas business not good enough for you? You got to be Ed Sullivan? We got a great shoe. We got a really big shoe. I like Oscar a lot. And Brent says, I think your Ed Sullivan needs work.
It's going to be tough when you start a business and then leave it to your kids. And then it's like you're still around, not trying to, push them around.
You live to see like any kid is going to have their opinions and grew up watching the business and thinking like, oh, if I had my hands on it, like I would do this different, I would do that different. And now you have to live to see your kids making all the alterations you didn't want made when you were in charge.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, paint over this painting I made. Like I get it. And I don't think necessarily in those cases the kids are often wrong. Like, times change and things evolve and it's smart. But yeah, it's gonna be tough to see things of that nature happen, like kind of like right under your nose.
End of the day, that's your baby. You raised that business.
Yeah.
And it sounds like Oscar loved that baby more than his baby Brent. So we cut back to the store and we see Lacey talking to Wanda and Hank. And she's going, destroys local landmark. I didn't destroy it. And Wanda's going, and it's not really a landmark. So she's going, so the only true word is woman?
Like it was written by animal. Woman!
And then Lacey's talking about how she could sue over this article, and Hank's like, oh, we're not really big on lawsuits here. And it cuts to like a montage of what I thought was supposed to be things that have happened, but I guess just the suggestions of what they could do.
Yeah, I thought the same thing too.
So first you see like the business door for the newspaper, and it's being egged. And then you see a cut to like a car that's been like stabbed the tire like 10 times, like, as if like the one cut wouldn't be enough. And they throw a watermelon on it.
A lot of watermelon, yeah.
Yeah. Because then right after that, we get a voicemail. And it's, you've reached the Dog River Howler. Please leave a message. And it's Hank on the phone going, yeah, I'd like to report that you guys suck. I also have a question for you. Why do you guys suck so much? And then a watermelon gets thrown at the answering machine. The watermelon on the answering machine popped me because of how stupid that was.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it either.
And it cuts back to the store, and they're like, these are just some ideas. We're just thinking like off the cuff. And even Lacey's like, what's with all the melons? It's like, well, they make a big splat.
They do.
Then we cut to a little later on, and we see like Brent in the store hanging a movie poster up inside. And he's, it's kind of mirroring the time with his dad earlier when he was hanging something outside, only now he's with Wanda. And it's like, no, it's a little low. And he's like, oh, maybe I have an inner ear disorder because he can't get his balance right. He's like, are my legs the same length?
I don't know why I thought this was really funny because he's like, I can't hang anything straight. And is it me?
I like that self-realization.
Yeah.
Maybe I am the problem. Oscar's going, good gravy. You're not going to hang movie posters all over the place, too. Like, well, we have to let folks know that we rent movies now. Like, what's next? A water slide? Turn the gas station into a big family fun park with movies and Ferris wheels and circus elephants blowing up balloons?
Good gravy sent me a little bit, too. Good gravy. Feels like a really Canadian thing to say.
Just the idea of again, we talk about just the idea of him not liking the change. And also just for the idea of it's Saskatchewan, so the whole thing is premised around the idea that it's kind of slow out there. But we're still, this is 2004, and he's just starting to rent VHS tapes. And he's like, what's going on here with all this new age technology you're bringing into the place? Like, we're at 2004 just starting to get away from videotapes and onto DVDs. And they're just starting to get them there for it's the only place in town where you can rent a tape.
Yeah. Yeah. They're not going to adapt to new technology at the same pace as the big city folk for sure.
Because it reminds me of was it South Park? Was it Canada in South Park where they were they're X amount of years behind and they found the guy and he just started listening to Ace of Base or whatever?
That's a question.
That is South Park, but he was frozen in ice. It wasn't Canadian.
But didn't they send him to Canada where he'd fit in?
Same thing.
I think at the end of the episode they sent him to Canada because it matched where he was at. But
yeah, even the South Park video game, the whole thing's like an episode of South Park. But when you go to Canada, it becomes an above a 2-bit video game.
So it always plays on the idea that they're a little bit behind us. Yeah. Which makes sense if you look at a 2004 show where we're just introducing a place in town we can rent a videotape.
I meant to say 8-bit. I don't know why I said 2-bit.
I figured it out.
I had to correct myself.
Canada. They don't have all 8 yet.
This is when Brent's mom walks in for the first time, Emma. And she's like I would say out of everybody, the most grounded, normal person on this show.
Yeah.
She's the most level-headed.
Yeah, she's like the compass, sort of.
And I feel like she's pretty respected amongst everyone. So it sounds like a lot of times what she said seems to go.
Yeah, you get that vibe.
Reminds me of Red from Orange is the New Black.
See, I thought she reminded me of. Now I'm just kind of stereotyping here.
Is there going to be another big woman with red hair?
It is, yeah. Barda there from 2.5 Men.
Oh yeah. I thought you said that was Mario Batali. Go back and listen to our 2.5 Men episode. So yeah, she walks in and she goes up to the counter of the store and asks if they still carry any baker's yeast or if she's gonna have to go all the way to Co-op. Oscar's like, I'm gonna tell your idiot son to get his head out of the clouds. And you can tell my crank of a father to go home and look up the word retired. So she's going, so is there baker's yeast or do I have to leave? So she's trying to stay out of it. At this point, she's trying to stay out of it.
I heard a lifetime of this argument.
Yeah, it's not the first.
We go outside and it's the exterior of the cafe and we see someone knocking on the door. But at this point, the window is still all newspapered up so you can't see inside. And Lacey's asking who it is. And it's one of those, it's a male cop out of the 2 cops, Davis. And he's like, you're going to have to open up, ma'am. It's police business. And she opens the door. And she's like, is this official police business or do you just want coffee? He goes, do you have any on? She's like, listen, I don't want to let anyone inside until I'm finished redecorating. But if you're really desperate for a good cup, I'll brew some and bring it out. All right. He goes, God bless you, ma'am. And she says, call me Lacey, and walks off and the door shuts. And then just through the door, you hear, God bless you, Lacey. And then we cut back in the store and Emma, the mother, is saying so what is it that you two are on about? Oscar's explaining, your son's trying to turn the gas station into a movie theater. He's going, yeah, bear in mind, Dad has a tendency to overstate things. And he goes, I've never overstated a single thing in the history of the planet. And he goes, yeah, remember when I suggested we get some uniforms, just some nice, simple corner gas uniforms? And you said people would think we were Nazis? I said they might think we were Nazis. By the way, second Nazi reference in the show?
Yeah. 2004.
Yeah, it was still fresh in everyone's brains.
I think the older person being against uniforms and the younger person wanting it, you think it would be the other way around.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. Usually it would be the other way around.
And Emma's saying, like, both of you guys hush up, and telling her husband, when you let Brent take over the business, you knew he was going to make some changes. And then she says to him, but you need to respect that your father ran this business for almost 40 years and expect to show some respect for his opinions. He's going, well, you're asking for a lot, Ma. He's like, well, at least pretend to show some respect for his opinion. He's going, but he's never even rented a video. He doesn't even know what he's talking about. Because I know what I'm talking about. Like, see, he doesn't understand how it works, but he's against it. It's like touchstone phone all over again, Dad.
I had an aunt who would not replace her
Rotary phone.
Would not replace the rotary phone. I fucking loved playing with that thing too.
I remember, yeah,
they are fun to play with.
We are definitely like the last era of people that even used one, right? Like they were already out of homes by the time we were born for the most part, but they still existed in homes. In smaller capacity, people who never got rid of them. So we have to be like, I would say legit people even 5 years younger than us probably never even
saw one,
dialed a phone with one once. You know what I mean? Where we actually, got to use the last of them.
Yeah.
The good old days when there was only 7-digit phone numbers.
Yep.
And then I remember they would make like novelty. Like I hated this. It's like when I was a kid, I used to like kind of like some retro looking things. And you could get like what looked like a rotary phone, but it wasn't. And it still had push buttons. And you're like, just let me do the thing.
They'd have buttons where the rotary was going around.
Yeah, it's like just make it a rotary phone. If someone's buying it, they clearly want it to be that way.
Yep.
But I had one of those like for a while. But yeah, it was I wonder if you could. I don't even have a landline. What am I talking about? Like, what would I fucking do with it? I don't have a landline anymore.
You get the ones that you can like hook up to your cell phone. Have you seen that? Like it's like an old style like receiver that you can just plug into your cell phone. So like if you're on the phone, you can just kind of like old school it for a minute. But that still wouldn't incorporate the main. Actually, I bet you could find one that the
would
entire
you plug
thing.
it in to like your micro USB or whatever?
Yeah, or before that, like the 3/4 inch like headphone jack or something. But
I mean, like the cell phone one, like is that how those ones hook up?
Yes, yeah. So I'm not talking like the whole phone system, just the handheld like thing you would put up to your head. Like you can get like the coiled cord, and then that plugs into your phone. You can just kind of sit there on the phone like that.
Huh.
But they made like resurgence. Like there was like teenagers would be using them and stuff like that. But I don't know, I'm gonna go look into it. Maybe we'll make some S1E1
phones,
old phone receivers.
So Brent and his dad keep going on, and eventually Emma's like, here, this is what we're going to do. Oscar, you're going to rent a movie from Brent. I don't know how that's going to solve the problem, but that's the resolution is he's going to rent a movie and see what this is all about. So he's at least familiar, I guess, with what this is. But it's not like he doesn't know what movies are. But that's the resolve. They both agree to it, and then you just see Wanda like looking at Emma going, you're my hero. Because I guess it's probably tough to get through to these guys, right? And Emma has the ability to be able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've all had similar, at least, arguments with our parents who struggling and fighting against technology, trying to explain to them that. What comes to mind is a long time ago, arguing with my dad over the upgrade from DSL to cable. We had DSL, which is the phone line internet. It was slow and everything. And I finally had to show him. I said, listen, you're literally paying more for less. If you pay for this upgrade, you'll be getting more and paying less. And it was like that financial statement that I had to show him that he finally made it click. But yeah, they just fight it so hard just because they don't want anything to be any different. It needs to stay the same. We're all like that too, in a sense.
It's tough, but it's one of those things. I feel like my parents, my dad specifically, has been the eye opener for me of like the need to move with the times. You know what I mean? Because I don't consider myself like an old person by any means. At 39 going into 40, I look at like where my dad was at 39. And by 39, he was already like, I'm done learning new stuff. So, there was no more need to have like, as things were evolving and cell phones were coming up and stuff, he just didn't want to learn all this new technology. And then the world evolved so fast and so quick that because he didn't take the little steps as they were coming, can't do anything. Today he texted me, he's just starting to learn texting, by the way, and he's about to turn 68. And he's like, can you buy me a hat? And because he can't function in the modern world. So it's like, that's where we're at. So like that stuff has been like something that I've been cognizant of. Like there's certain things like, listen, I don't need a TikTok account, and I'm big on social.
I was just going to bring up TikTok. I'm like, that's that's the start for us.
Yeah. That's the first one where I was like, I don't need this.
Yeah.
But like, you still need to like learn what's going on in the world and like have the things, because you will fall behind.
Yeah.
And you need to know how, because things are just going to change. There was a point where like email was like this new way to communicate quicker. And now if you don't have an email address, you can't get your medical records. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so like you need to have these things. So you just, as it comes.
That's the thing too for us, because they had to deal with a lot of new technology. Like we did too, but we grew up with it. Like we were learning. It was like it was a good age for this technology to come out for us because we got to learn it as it came out. They were already over the learning, like you had said, so they just like left it behind. We don't have new technology. We have new like platforms, but it's all based on the same technology. I'm curious to see like what would be our equivalent of like cell phones coming out when we're 40. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I don't need a cell phone, like, because I could see us doing that if that were to happen now. Like, is there an equivalent?
I think for us, it's the streaming age. We went from, to even go back from that, renting videos to now everything is streaming.
Hey, and Gordo, welcome to the show. Gordo just popped in finally.
Yeah, that. I like the part with the space, when he went back to his planet.
Yeah,
that was mentioned in the episode, so that's good. No, we're just talking about like the evolution of like time and technology, and now we're talking about like the streamer thing. That's another thing. Like trying to tell my mom to like cut cable. The cable bill was getting to a point where it was over $300 a month.
Yes.
And I was like, this is getting insane. It's like, we don't need this anymore. But like, it was being paid month after month just because she's like, I can't figure out how to use Netflix. It's like, that's so much money to pay because you can't figure out the 5 buttons you need to press that I've shown you 1,000 times now. It's like, so I think that's the big thing that our generation will learn from is our parents' inability, or not even inability, but it's just like the lack of desire to move forward. Yeah. And like, because you can't get to that point. Like, Berg, do you want to be at the point where like your son's screaming at you in 10 years because you don't know how to like, you don't know how to access something? Like it just,
yeah.
So.
See, I kind of heard a little bit of what you guys were saying, and I think we're going through that right now with AI.
Yeah, AI would be.
Yeah.
That's a good example.
I'm not talking about ChatGPT either. There is countless right now AI things that you can do. Oh, do you need to automate a PowerPoint presentation? Cool, there's like fucking PowerPoint.ao. Oh, you want to make a song about buttholes getting stuck to your balls? Like, there's
Brent Butt?
Yes. But no, like those AI, like look at the AI Spotify songs, like the ones that Joe's oddly obsessed with. Somebody has to make those. Like there's tons of different AIs that are outside of ChatGPT, and that's going to be the dividing line. There's going to be people our age that are going to jump in it, and it's going to be intuitive as it progresses. And then there's going to be others who don't do it, and then they're going to be left behind.
Yep.
I also feel like the older generation is more susceptible to be fooled by AI things than are. And still there's things that still leak through the cracks for
There's
even
a
like
couple.
us. And
Yeah.
where you go like, was this real or not? But like, yeah, like my mom will watch a YouTube video about a news report thing. It's like, this girl was sad because she was being made fun of by her coworkers. And then The Rock showed up and you go like, what are you watching?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So it's,
They got that boomer rot.
I'm like, you know that's not real. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you didn't fucking know. Yeah.
I'm embarrassed. I got fooled recently, and it was just a raccoon jumping on a trampoline at night.
I got fooled with the rabbits.
I shared it. And like,
Did you guys get
like, Dad,
fooled with the
that's fake.
rabbits? They
No.
had the
Just the
similar one
raccoon.
with like similar to the raccoon one, but there were a bunch of rabbits that somehow ended up on a trampoline, and it looked fucking real.
So this one account has been having various animals jumping on trampolines.
Yeah,
Yes.
ever since the raccoon, I've seen other animals, so now it's
Right.
obvious to me. But that
Man.
first one,
If either of you guys come across a video of like a possum like jumping on a trampoline, just second guess it before you share. It's probably going to be fake.
But you never know. That's the problem. There has been news videos, and that's what's scary about it.
To get back into the show, we cut outside and we see Karen in the squad car, and she's using her like radar gun to like clock how fast sparrows are going by, which I feel like, Gordon, I'm glad you just got back in because you probably were like, oh, cool.
It is cool. I didn't think that a radar could pick it up, and apparently they go 40 miles per hour.
Yeah, a sparrow going 40. So she's in the car and she gets a call from Dave. It's the other one. Like, hey, you there? It's like, yep, this is car one. You're not car one. They go back into that whole thing. And she's like, are you in trouble? Do you need backup? He's like, no, the new girl is brewing real coffee. And he just cut to the woo, and she turns the sirens on and like races down the street. By the time she gets there, basically like the town is all standing in front of the place, like cups out, like, and she's just pouring people coffee outside.
she charged them. I know you don't normally charge the police for coffee, but the rest of the town, you think she charged them?
No, not on this one, because this
Probably
is a
not.
good way to get people in now, because she's about to have her grand reopening, and now a small town like this words out that she's making good coffee. Like
Yeah.
that's the best advertising you can get.
But then you have dusty pink walls.
This is the most. It sucks that your cut came in halfway. This is the most I think you've ever watched the show.
Because I came in at this part and said, this is where they're going to jump in. And I was correct. This is Canadian, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought. Okay.
This couldn't be more Canadian. We see like a shot of Brent and Oscar like sitting on the hood of a car together. Brent's like, oh man, that was good. And Oscar goes, you know, I knew I missed Ruby, God rest her, but I didn't realize how much I missed the coffee.
Yeah. Coffee. Good coffee's a staple. Right, Ferg?
Especially if it's just ripped out from under you.
It doesn't even have to be coffee. It can be your favorite restaurant. My favorite restaurant, Floramo, is gone forever, and now they're finally reopening. And I'm like, I can finally eat
Maybe.
it again.
They got to sign up. There's a sign up. It's coming. For those of you who don't live in the area, I'm sorry because you have no idea what we're talking about. But our neighboring town, Revere, they have a the signs up. It should be coming soon.
My example was going to be Royals, but I decided to go with Floramos instead.
It's the nostalgia sometimes too. Like anytime anything from your past comes back accurately, it's like the way your brain just immediately like can go back in time sometimes.
Paisans, come back. I know none of you know what we're talking about, but fuck what I would do to bring
That bread was
Paisans
good.
back. Yeah.
Best example of that is Crystal Pepsi. Everyone's wanted it back, came back, and you get reminded that it tasted terrible.
It just tastes like Pepsi, which I agree
No.
tastes terrible.
It doesn't taste like Pepsi. It's like Pepsi and soap.
Can you guys give me any examples of things that have come back correctly? Because it seems like we got like dumped in like an odd timeline where things came back and they're all like off.
Well, it's tough because you're going by like a bit of nostalgia when you remember things too. So like with, like Crystal Pepsi, right? There's physically no way to drink it and know it's exactly the same. You know what I mean? We
Yeah.
don't know if it's exactly how it tasted back
Yeah.
then. There's no way to know. Even if you saved one from then, it won't taste the same because it's bad. Like, so it's like you have to go by. We think it's the same, but like you could bring back. Like I've wanted Ninja Turtle pies to come back since I was a kid, and the WWF ice cream bars. But if they came back, I won't know if it's exactly the same. In my brain, I could tell myself that I remember, but you don't know well enough.
Oh, when you started in Ghostbusters 2016, they brought Ecto Cooler back.
They did bring
and
back
that-
Ecto Cooler.
They nailed that. That was exactly the same.
Shout out to Extra Cooler, who is one of the people who helped name Ecto Cooler. That's why he got his name. He's the guy who did our art for the podcast. So the logo is drawn by Extra Cooler. That's why he got his name.
That's extra cool.
But anyways, yeah. So we get back inside. Now Oscar's going to rent one of the movies as he agreed to do. And Brent's giving him the full thing, though. He's giving him the full, this is what the customers will experience. And I don't know if this is going to be helpful because it's just the frustrating part where you have to sign up and like get your card and everything.
Well, no.
So I don't.
This goes back to the argument when the mother was there too. He doesn't care if his dad ends up liking it. He just wants to agitate his dad because he's making it such a hard time.
So he's asking him if he has a membership card. Obviously, he does not. And I was like, all right, you're going to have to fill out this form. And he's like, name and going through everything. And Oscar's just fucking furious as all this is going on. He's like, do you have an address? He's like, I live right over there, you idiot. And the funny thing is, he's asking him for the street address. He's like, I don't know the damn street number. It's like, your mother knows that stuff. The house is right over there. You grew up there, for the love of mutt.
I love how he doesn't know either.
Yeah, Brent's like, yeah, is it 608 or 806? And then it cuts
it's like
to the
717.
House. Yeah. It's not even remotely 806. He's like, I'm just going to put big house by the West Road. Eventually his dad's like, forget this. This is too much. He's like, no. Hold on. And he gives him Jaws. Like, here you go. It's a classic. He's like, it's not dirty or gross, is it? He's like, no, it's about fishing.
I think Jaws was a fine choice to give someone of his age.
Yeah.
Yes, but
He knows his audience.
When he asks if it's gross and he tells him, no, it's about fishing.
I mean, technically
it is about fishing, but technically it's super gross. Especially for that time.
you could also argue it's about hunting.
And you can argue.
He leaves and Wanda's like, do you think your dad's going to like Jaws? Like, he might if he owned a VCR. And then it cuts later to him walking in. He's like, oh, aren't you smart? Like, how am I supposed to watch Jaws if I don't have one of those movie machines for the TV? And he's like, oh, I can rent you one for $9. Do video stores do that?
Yeah, Blockbuster used to in Winthrop. They used to rent. I'm sorry. I don't know if they used to rent the players. I know they used to rent like Nintendo 64s out and stuff like that.
Wait, Winthrop had a Blockbuster?
Yeah,
No.
it was Superstar Video and then became Blockbuster.
We never had a
I thought it was
Blockbuster.
Hollywood.
Yeah, we never had a Blockbuster.
We had a Blockbuster. Superstar Video became Blockbuster. I bet you $100.
I'm in.
I would take that.
I don't know.
I had an account.
It was never Blockbuster.
He might be right.
It was 110% Blockbuster.
I'm going to need proof. But regardless, we'll have to settle that outside. It's $9 to rent, but there's a $200 deposit, which makes sense because if you break the VCR, like obviously, like you have to pay to replace it.
Well, that's why you need a credit card on file. Then you don't have to put it.
So he's like, just give me the machine. And he does give it to him.
I was surprised it came in like a suitcase.
Nice little metal carrying case. I've said before, like the fact that modern day, there are no more people producing VCRs. Like there's not even a single company in the world still making them. So if you do need one for anything, like if you have any old VHS tapes, like you have to pay like for used ones, which there's still plenty of them out, like various flea markets and bullshit. You can still find them once in a while, but I know there's not a huge need for them because people are slowly digitizing stuff, but even to digitize, you need VCRs to like play them to digitize.
Yeah.
If you were the one company, like if I had the engineering to make a new VCR and be the only company on earth still making VCRs, like there's got to be some money in that, right? There's got to be some money.
I would imagine the fact that there are none is your answer. That no, there is no
if
money
you're the only person on earth making them and you're selling them for like $60 on Amazon, like they got to be cheap to make.
What if you're the only person on earth making those bicycles with the big wheels?
That's different. There's no need for that. So,
No. But what I think you're forgetting is that there is still an abundance of these VCRs.
Yeah.
Like there's no shortage of them. You can go find one tomorrow for a reasonable price, practically new. They don't need to be made. They were well made, which is a good thing. Like all the Panasonic VCRs out there. Like I think there's one, in the closet across my basement here. They just work. They don't degrade as much as the other electronics do. So,
but what does degrade is the tapes. VHS tapes
sure, yeah.
die. So that's why, like, don't even bother making a VCR because someday those are all going to be gone.
yeah, there's a lot of shows you watch now that just weren't preserved properly, or like we said this before, like when we did The Building, right? The Building had no run, and then basically one person had recorded them all and like uploaded it on YouTube, and now as far as the modern world's concerned, the only way you could watch that is on an old VHS tape that was converted to digital, and the quality's not phenomenal. So yeah, it's I got to do it too. Like you got to back up more of your shit when you can. So
Yeah.
I back my shit up all the time.
his dad finally gets the VCR to play the tape and takes off. And Wanda's saying this time, like, Jaws is a pretty intense movie. Is it a good idea for him to watch that? Like, he's pretty wound up. Like, it doesn't matter. In a million years, he's never going to figure out how to hook it up.
I love this. He looks like he's wiring like an engine. Like I couldn't make it out.
Yeah, the perspective is from like the rear side of the TV, but the back panel of the TV is off.
Yeah. I love the mother coming in and just being like, red goes to red, white goes to white, yellow goes to yellow. It's a Japanese model. They use buttons over there.
It's funny now, too, because, like, again, we're in this weird world of old and new technology. Like, old technology is dying, but it's still here, and there's still some need because we have the things for them still. And honestly, thank God for Amazon, because now that, like, Radio Shack is gone, it's the only place you can get some of these oddball wires. Like, almost anything you can dream up somehow exists. So, what are those called again, Nick? The three color
AV.
Oh, yeah, component. Yeah. Thought it was coaxial, but that's the...
Yeah, or AV cables?
Yeah, I always called them AV.
I think I don't know, honestly. I think they're
Because
AV
yellow
cables,
is yellow is the video, red is left.
White's video. White's video.
Yeah,
red
it was
is-
left and right audio, and then one for video.
But regardless, it's like if you need like the three of those to HDMI or the three of those to USB, like
Oh, yeah.
some random fucking Chinese companies making these wires, and you can at least go on Amazon and grab one. But yeah, it's the only way things. It's the insane amount of random wire combinations you need to acquire now to like function through life. Which is kind of why I think it's weird that Radio Shack doesn't still exist, because I do feel like with all these different things that exist now, like it was really the only place you could go. And you'd have to deal with like whoever worked at Radio Shack. I don't know why it was a prerequisite to be a dickhead.
Oh my God, there was such douches.
They really were assholes.
Yeah.
But other than that, though, it's like they just had things you couldn't get at other places.
I thought that someone did buy Radio Shack, and then they tried to revive it, and then it didn't work or whatever. I could be wrong.
I remember one time a guy legitimately gave me an attitude because I didn't want to get a protection plan on the $10 like headphones I bought. I was just buying like some cheap like earbuds to like plug into my phone, at the dying age of your phone still having the auxiliary cable. He's like, oh, do you want to pay for the protection plan? It's like, they're $10 cables. Like, if they break, I'm going to just buy new ones, $10 headphones. I'm not going to, like, go through the warranty.
Yeah, exactly. Not for something that.
I guess I was just reading. I guess what mainly killed Radio Shack was online shopping.
Well, sure.
As with every business, but...
Like most things, but you would think, like, something like that was so niche, like, and there is some need for it still. Especially now, like I said, with just all the wire combinations that seem to exist, it would be nice to have a place that you could at least travel to if you needed something in a pinch and not have to wait a couple days.
Well, another thing like with Radio Shack too that surprises me about that is like electrical components, like just straight electrical components that you need. You might need like a potentiometer. You might need a resistor of some kind. Radio Shack had that in like a tool drawer. They had like a bunch for like 30 cents. You can't go into a store now and buy those. You have to order those on Amazon. Like, it's stupid.
We cut to the cafe's exterior. It's the reopening. And you can see the sign originally said gala reopening, but it was changed to grand over gala. It was like painted over. And I couldn't figure out, like, was that Lacey converting to like the townspeople or like someone like Hank who's just stubborn and changed it himself?
No, I think it was Lacey.
Probably was her. And now we see everyone walking in. So it's like Brent and Wanda and Brent's parents, and they're walking through and they're noticing all the changes. Oscar's like, it's a waste of money. It's just change for change's sake. Wanda's saying it looks like Martha Stewart blew up. Brent's like, I feel mildly violated. like over what? Like, and what is what we come to learn? Just like paint change and like some art on the walls.
And tablecloths, apparently.
Yeah.
But this is how set in their ways the people of the town are. And then Lacey walks over and she's like, hey guys, like, what do you think? And you get like the reverse of what everyone was saying basically coming in. And Oscar's like, high time for change. And it looks like Martha Stewart was in here. And I feel mildly refreshed. Lisa's like, oh, I'm glad you guys like it. I was worried about what people would think after I was attacked by the media. And Emma's like, media? Yeah, the paper, the Dog River Howler. Emma's like, that's not the media. That's Gus Tompkins. He's about as sharp as a sock full of soup.
I loved this for some reason. A sock full of soup fucking killed me.
And that is like something that, like, to put it in perspective and think about the town, we talk about how this is like a small town in the middle of nowhere. And then, like, yeah, of course the newspaper's just one crazy guy who lives in town. Like, you know, it's not important what's in there.
What did he say? Moose Jaw to get like an NBA franchise?
Yeah, so Moose Jaw is like one of the bigger like parts of Saskatchewan, like one of the bigger cities. I was thinking about this. If Moose Jaw was to get an NBA franchise,
yeah,
what do you think an appropriate name would be? Because I think you have to go with the Antlers.
Oh, the Spungos.
Toronto's got the Raptors.
And I feel like because Moose Jaw is the name, like you can't be like the Moose Jaw Mooses. Is it Mooses?
Nope.
Yes, moose. Moose as one word. Moose is plural.
So you can't. Oh, so you can't be the Moose Jaw Moose.
Meese.
There's no such thing as meese.
It's like goose and geese.
So I'm sticking with Antlers.
I'm sticking with the Spungos.
I'll go with the Moose Jaw Beavers. Because Canadians love beavers.
What about the Canadians?
They already have it. Well,
Montreal.
But that's Canadians.
Technically, you are correct.
The Canadians.
It flashes to that newspaper, cuts back, and Emma's saying, like, people are going to get used to the change around here. Then says, besides, where are they going to go? Are they going to drive all the way to Woolerton for coffee? And just the four of them all spit on the floor. And Lacey's like, what the fuck? Like, she's not from the town. So, like, all these little town quirks she's not up for. And meanwhile, four people just spit on her floor. Like, I'm going to go get a mop. And everyone goes to sit at the table. Hank comes in right as they're sitting. And he's like, what the hell did you do to this place? Brent's going, settle down. It's just a little bit different. Different? We're in the seventh circle of hell. Look at this. Where's the old clear salt and pepper shakers? You can't see inside these ones. How are we supposed to know which is which? And Emma's like, well, one's black and one's white. And Brent goes, take a leap of faith. Hank's like, well, what if it's a trick? Wanda's like, well, put some on your hand first.
I feel like that with ketchup, but it's not because I'm worried it's not ketchup. I just hate that it's deceptively empty when it looks full.
Yeah.
Oh, the painted bottles now?
Yeah.
That would be hilarious, though, to put mustard in one of those. Just a whole bottle of ketchup full of mustard. Oh, mustard!
I would be fucking furious. If I bought a burger and I went to squirt ketchup in it and mustard came out, I would go full rage. I would be so fucking mad.
That's diabolical.
But even if you did like mustard, like if you weren't planning on using one,
Yeah, if you weren't expecting it, yeah.
What if you had French fries and you fucking squirted mustard all over them?
Well, you're not supposed to squirt ketchup on top of
I
French.
agree. I'm on team off to the side, but it is something that
I'm
is
on the
mixed.
fry. Fuck you all. It's fun to eat them that way.
So I'm a dipper unless they only give you packets because it's never enough. You have to spread it.
that's where it spawns from for me. Good point. If I have a bottle of ketchup, yeah, I'm making a dip, right? But if it's the packet, you gotta like figure it out and do it the right way to get as much coverage as you can, because you can't dip all of them in a few packets.
No, because then you get ketchup on your fingers.
Who cares?
Unless you want to eat them with a fork.
I'm also gonna get ketchup in my tummy.
Yeah.
Are you going to eat French fries with a fork like a fucking lunatic?
I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Well, it is Canada, so yeah.
Well, if it's poutine, that's different. Like, that is an acceptable time to use your fork to eat your French fries.
But then I wouldn't use ketchup in that case.
So Hank's saying how, in response to being told to put some on his hand first, he's like, that's unsanitary. And Brent goes, I've seen you eat gum off of your shoe. He's like, what does that have to do with anything?
the
That's
double,
so gross.
the 1-2 of he's eating gum off his shoe and not understanding what the connection is between that and being unsanitary.
And he's like continuing to freak out. He's like, this freaky abstract art on the walls. She put these weird clots on the table. Brent's like, table clots? Like, it's too much. She's turned this coffee shop into a gay bar.
I love Oscar's reaction.
And Hank's like, you guys can pretend everything's okay if you want, but I'm going to fight this. And he's like, well, I got 2 words. Boy, cut.
No one corrects him.
Hank says, if you had the power to put companies out of business by not being a customer, then why am I still able to buy mouthwash?
And deodorant.
Yeah. And they're all going in a circle, like, or underwear, or books, or pants that fit, nail clippers. They keep going. Eventually, Oscar wants to get in on it. He goes, pickup trucks. And Brent's like, you don't know what we're doing, do you, Dad? Shut up.
Pickup trucks.
I just like that Oscar wanted to play too.
And he wanted to be included.
He saw the other three having fun, and he's
I mean, so my problem with this joke is it also does kind of apply. Like if he's never bought a pickup truck, then it falls in line.
Yeah, you go, Oscar.
yeah, but everything else is just about how he's like a disgusting person.
Yeah, right.
And then we cut to like later in the night, and it's the Dog River Hotel, and Brent's taking Lacey there. And it's like after like the grand opening, and he's like, "Here we are, the finest drinking establishment of all Dog River." Like, "Oh, it's nice. It's kind of homey." He's like, "Yeah, if you grew up in a home full of pickled eggs and pinball." So the waitress goes up. He's like, "What can I get you?" And Brent gets a rye and water, which is again, wish Joe was here. Joe's the only one who could get down with that drink.
That's disgusting.
Not a far apart. Joe's what, bourbon and salsa, right? It's basically the same drink.
It's
but
not
flat.
an uncommon drink. I just don't-
No, it's not. That's what you call neat, right?
no. No. A neat is just no ice.
What's the one with water?
It's just with a water back. It's just like a
Oh, I thought that was neat.
no. Neat just comes with nothing in it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'll get like bourbon on ice, and then eventually the ice will melt down, which will take a little bit of that bite away on the last few sips. But
Who are you kidding? That drink's gone before you get to the table.
no, if I'm drinking,
It is true. It's the only drink I've ever seen Jay nurse is like a hard liquor.
yeah, most drinks I'm gonna drink quick because it's just my nature. You know what I mean? Like before we record, I set multiple drinks up next to me because I'm just chugging all the time.
Why is it your nature? Have you ever discussed that? Like, were people chasing you for your liquids as a child?
No,
Like-
but since I was a kid, but I drink a lot. It's not like I drink the one thing fast and then I'm done drinking. I then drink more things. I'm just always, I don't know, I've always drank a lot of fluid. Outside of when it's alcohol, in general, it's one of the healthiest things I do is stay very hydrated. But yeah, no, if it's something like bourbon on the rocks, that's the one time you're going to see me slow sip a drink the way normal humans drink. Because that'll get you in a lot of trouble, and there's nothing thirst quenching about just drinking bourbon.
I did that one time where I had like a really nice bourbon, and the guy put it in. It was after hours at a club, and the guy put it in this like glass, but only put a little bit. And he puts 3 down, me, another guy I was with, and him. And they were all sitting there, and I fucking did a shot, and they looked at me like I had come and crawled up from hell. And they're like, "This is a sipping bourbon, sir. You weren't so." It was the nastiest shot I ever took, but apparently it was very expensive. And I don't remember much after that.
So I've gone to a few restaurants that have like a really nice bourbon selection, and they have some upscale stuff. You're paying for like 1 ounce.
Oh, this was after hours. I wasn't paying for it.
Yeah, but I mean, so they're served in small, like almost like a shot like portion.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And I was already drunk. So I was like, cool, bottoms up.
I would have done the same thing.
I felt so stupid.
Lacey wants something somewhat celebratory, you know, something to signify a fresh start and a new future. The waitress goes, "Beer? Yeah, all right. Just, can you make it imported? In Canada, Budweiser's imported."
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. You're going to get Bud Light?
What would be a good celebratory, like probably a
High life, baby. Champagne of beers.
But I mean, if she was, what was like in her brain?
I
What
was
did she
gonna say
want?
Heineken right over from Germany.
Yeah, probably. Maybe champagne, actually. I don't know.
Champagne.
Champagne.
Brent's talking to Lacey. How do you think things went? It got pretty well. A few people complained about the pink walls, which was odd because they're not pink. They're dusty rose. But some say tomato, some say tomato. He's like, "No, you're right." And for the record, around here, we all say tomato.
Damn right.
Be a lot cooler if it was Dusty Roads.
I thought the same thing, yeah.
I'm a wall, baby.
I'm thinking for the wall, they're going to do polka dots everywhere. And she says to Brent, "Well, I know one thing's for sure. Hank hated it." It's like, "Why do you say that?" And you get a flash to him just walking up and doing like the, and with the thumbs down and walking away.
Yeah. He's unwavering.
Is that also called a raspberry? Because I know when you do like there's other times, like, is that also a raspberry sound?
I'm not sure it has a name, but yeah, if I had to, yeah, why not?
I don't know if incorporating the thumb makes it not a raspberry, but I thought anytime it's like noise, it's a raspberry.
Isn't it raspberry too when you go like on someone's tummy?
I know, like if you would like to blow in like a
Baby's
baby's
stomach.
belly or something like that, they call that raspberries too. So when they flash forward after we see Hank doing that to her, Brett's like, well, why do you say that? And she goes, I can read people. At this point, Oscar walks over. Oscar's at the bar too. Like, oh, Dad, you know you have to return that video by tomorrow. You're going to have to pay a late fee. He's like, well, good luck collecting that. And he's telling Lacey how his dad rented Jaws. And she's like, oh, that's awesome. That's one of my favorite movies. Did you like it? Oh, yeah, it was pretty good. He's like, oh, so you got the VCR hooked up? At this point, we talked about it, but the VCR was not hooked up yet. He's like, oh, yeah, of course I did. It was a piece of cake. Like, oh, so what was your favorite part of the movie? The shark parts. Oh, yeah? Like, which ones? They were all good. You know, when they were being all mean. Like, did you like the part when the shark was fighting the dinosaur? Yeah, I mean, that one was okay, I guess. Well, how about when the shark grew legs and climbs up the beach and has a sword fight with the sheriff? That part was a little far-fetched for my taste. I like that even in the lie where he's pretending to see the movie. He was like, no, I don't think I would have liked that. This is like talking about any movie with Gordo.
Yep.
Kind of, but I've actually seen Jaws.
Yeah, but you didn't see Top Gun.
In a slew of other movies we've talked about.
I'll admit when I haven't seen a movie.
We've learned that that's not true.
No, I've seen Top Gun.
I've not seen Top Gun.
I've seen Back to the Future. I've seen... What other movies you guys talk about?
As he's doing this is actually going to be his way to tell you about a bunch of movies he hasn't seen.
Pineapple Express I saw once. Yeah, I've seen movies.
Okay, this just in. Gordo's seen movies.
A lot of them.
I can vouch for, I know we watched at least half of The Patriot before you kicked us out of your house.
Wow.
So I know you've seen at least half of it.
I've seen the whole thing.
Yeah, you got to. We got stuck in half.
It was good. You missed the freedom part.
You know what's funny? Jokes aside, I mean, we're legitimately talking about something that happened over 20 years ago. I don't know if I ever finished it. I don't know if I ever saw the rest of The Patriot.
You should have walked down to Blockbuster and rented it.
Also, Gordo said you missed the freedom part, which I'm pretty sure is not The Patriot, but
Braveheart?
Braveheart, yes.
Yeah.
No, at the end, when he goes into battle against the British, he yells, freedom. It's the same movie. It's Mel Gibson's like a one-trick pony.
Sure. I don't know. I don't know enough.
Really? What about the movie where they just beat the shit out of Jesus for 2 hours?
He directed that. He didn't act in it.
Also, the way that ends is they catch him and he gets tortured, but you don't see it. That's not even the freedom part's not the end of the movie.
It's not.
Yeah.
You'd know that if you saw it.
So they're messing around with Oscar for a little bit about this, and he eventually leaves. She actually had joined in at one point and said, like, oh, that part when the shark went back to his home planet made me cry. Once he left, she goes, he must have the director's cut.
I watched Jaws again recently. It still holds up. Fantastic movie.
I haven't seen it in a very long time.
I haven't
to be
seen
honest
it
with you.
either,
I'd have to rewatch it. Because it's what, the 50th anniversary as we record this right now?
That's why I watched it. They're all on Peacock right now. So.
Oh, then I guess that'd be the opportunity to watch it then. Yeah. So
We got to go to Martha's Vineyard and watch it.
I haven't been to Martha's Vineyard in a while either.
I think I've only been once.
When you do go there, it is very much like, hey, it's Martha's Vineyard, Jaws. Like they're like, remember? So you get a lot of Jaws merch there, bootleg, of course. But anyways, we get to the next day, and Lacey and Brent are in the cafe, sitting at the table, and you see Hank outside holding up a sign boycotting the shop. It's like, oh, I wish Hank would stop with the boycott. Like, well, I've known him since we were 6, so I'll go talk to him. I could probably find a way to reason with him. And she says that'll be great. And you can see Brent, he like gets up from the table, and then you see him appear outside, and you can see him through the window, and he just breaks the sign and slaps Hank on the head as Lacey's like watching on from inside, and then cuts back in. And I like that they did this as one long shot. So
Yes,
like they had him
I
physically
did like
walk
that,
out,
yeah.
do it, and come back in.
Now, is Brent and Lacey like a romance? Do you see coming?
I think it's meant to be that way eventually.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, this is total episode 1 speculation. This is one of those rare chances where we could legit do first impressions only and not know anything else that happened.
Yeah.
Usually spot a will they, won't they? And I wasn't sure with the two of them.
Yeah, I got it.
They don't overdo it, but by proxy and like amount of characters, I guess they're going to try to set something up. Ironically, the only other woman that he could potentially have a relationship with is his real life wife who's in the show, but they don't have any type of like, oddly enough, romantic chemistry that I'm seeing as I watch them on the show. So they only like interact as like buds. So like a little bit after that slap, they flash forward and now Hank's inside with them. And you see the two of them like sitting at the bar area of the diner. Hank's like, "You're not going to intimidate me with your strong arm goon tactics. I'm standing by my principles." He says, "Your principles?" And he says, "Who are you? Lech Walesa?" He's actually, I looked him up. Gordo, maybe you could help. He was the former president of Poland.
Was he the big guy? Like they had like a Polish president that was like he was like a monster.
This guy does not look that way. This guy is a mustached man.
Maybe it's not who I'm thinking of.
He got older and he looks like the mailman from Cheers when he got old.
What a weird thing to say, by the mailman from Cheers. Everybody knows who Cliff is.
Well, maybe our fucking listeners don't all know.
No, they do.
We're all butchering the name, so we will just give it to Mrs. Gordo.
Okay. The name is Lech Wałęsa.
So what was his like was he high on his principles for something? That's what they alluded to.
Yes, so he was the leader of the electricians union at the shipbuilding docks in seaside city Gdańsk. And he led the union workers in protest against the communist government. So when the communist government fell, he was elected.
Oh,
interesting.
okay.
Okay, yeah. So it does track for the show.
So yes, there was a lot of, like fighting on the streets with
Right.
the communist.
Right.
In terms of Mike mentioned, like beating somebody up on the street, that I guess that would track.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's Lech Wałęsa.
Thank you. I'm not going to try to say the name back because I'll butcher it, but thank you.
From what I'm reading, in 1968, he encouraged the shipyard colleagues to boycott official rallies. So that's where it goes with the show with him boycotting.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Before my time, I only remember him like in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lech.
Yay, Lech. Here you go.
Thank you, Mrs. Gordo, for that. I think this is also a glaring opportunity to note how like other countries are just more worldly aware. So that's like an easy pull to happen like 10 years later and mention it in Canada. And like we probably at the same time had no fucking clue what was going on over there.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we're not culturally, we are culturally inept, sort of.
Yeah, so straight from the horse's mouth.
Hank's continuing to argue about how the walls are pink and you're drinking it's like drinking coffee in a Barbie dream house. And Lacey walks up as he's saying it, saying it's not pink, it's dusted tomato. That's what Brent says. Lacey's like, "Don't you think you're overreacting? I mean, like, come on, like a boycott. Like, look, I'm not clubbing baby seals in here. I'm not using Honduran children to make sneakers." It's like, you could be clubbing baby seals with Honduran children. I don't care about that. But this,
I don't understand why she gives a fuck that he's boycotting.
Because it's one of 7 people in the town.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
and Brent's saying like, all right, first off, he corrects him and says it's not Honduran. Second of all, this has gone on long enough. You know, the walls are different. Can't see inside the salt shakers. He's like, but the coffee's still great. And that's it. There's not going to be any more changes, right, Lacey? And like they cut to her and she's just kind of like, doesn't want to say anything. Like, right? And no more changes? You're done with the changes, right? And she's just not answering. And he goes, I'm getting the feeling there's going to be some yet to be further changes.
This made me laugh.
Got great cadence.
He does.
Yeah.
And you get this really quick cutscene back to the parents' house, and it's just Oscar watching TV going, Emma, you set the thing up wrong. It's supposed to be a sword fight.
The callback I wasn't expecting, but did appreciate.
Yeah, and so quick, and then we get back to the cafe, and now everyone's outside and like looking up. And Lacey's saying, "There it is, my last change. What do you think?" Brent says, "Hank, if you still boycott this place after this, I'm going to break more than your sign." And Hank goes, "You did a real good thing here, Lacey. Let's go inside. I want to buy a round of coffee." And when I say round of coffee, I mean just Brent and me. Everyone else is on their own. And as they're all heading in, you like cut up and you see that she renamed the cafe to be the Ruby and named it after her aunt. And like, it was actually a really nice looking sign.
It was well
like
done,
3-dimensional and stuff.
Why the Ruby and not Rubies?
I thought the same thing. Yeah.
What about Ruby Tuesdays?
Right. Yeah. I think that's used. But no, I kind of like the Ruby. I think that it has like a better, it's just, I don't know, it sounds cooler.
That sounds like a cool diner name.
It's like a bar. It doesn't sound like a diner.
Well, it is a diner, so guess what? But no, I liked it. But it was a cool little touch, and it was like at least what Hank needed to be on board. Because even though there's change, she's showing like respect for what it was.
Right.
And like, of course she was. It was her aunt at the end of the day. You know what I mean? It wasn't like she was like just some random woman who bought the place.
She's not taking over for a stranger.
Yeah. And we cut inside real quick, and you get this like pan across, and you see like the two cops sitting at a table, and they're having like a little back and forth. We see Brent back at the bar area. "So you're able to survive the big boycott, huh? Does Hank always get so worked up over nothing?" "No, just most of the time." And then she goes, "Well, what can I get you?" He's like, "Oh, I'm starving. Can I get one of those chili cheese dogs?" Like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I actually took hot dogs off the menu." And the final shot is now just Brent outside holding a sign that says "Save the dogs."
I like this. Yeah.
I'm with him. Why are you going to bring hot dogs off the menu? They're so easy to make.
I was upset by this too. They're easy to make, low overhead. People love them.
Doesn't feel cafe coffee shop vibe though. In fairness, chili dogs.
It's a diner.
Yeah.
They're definitely diner food.
Here's the thing. I like the joke. It was a good full circle moment, and it ended on a funny gag. But like also ending on that shot of them all walking in after like the sign reveal would have also been a nice ending.
Yeah. It didn't bother me either way.
I feel like it wasn't as good of an ending, but it was still a good joke. So it's like weird. It's not like it ended on a dud.
I think it's a better ending. I like it ending on the joke.
On the joke?
Yeah.
Again, I mean, obviously it could have went either way. It is a funny full circle after all this time of him complaining about Hank having issues about change, and then him being upset because they got rid of the thing on the menu he likes, and now he's boycotting at the end. It's pretty fun. But also, and he did mention earlier in the episode that he was like, he had missed those chili cheese dogs. So he was like looking forward to this coming back.
Who doesn't like a good chili cheese dog?
I love a good chili dog.
I'm trying to remember if I've ever had one, to be completely honest.
It's not my go-to.
I've had much chili. I'm a big chili fan.
So we never discussed this once, and I imagine if Joe was here, we would have brought it up. But I worked at a gas station in my first job.
Oh yeah, that did not come up the entire time.
Not a single time. Yeah, I mean, it's not really much to talk. It's yes, they're both gas stations, but this was an entirely different experience. But we had a hot dog roller, and we did have chili dogs. I don't know if they were chili cheese dogs or not, or if we made them. I forget, but we definitely had chili dogs, and they're delicious. They're so bad for you, but they're delicious.
I don't even remember you guys having hot dogs.
Yeah, we had a hot dog. The actually, so like this the whole thing went through a bunch of sales and stuff like that after we had stopped. A bunch of us had worked there. We had always talked about taking the hot dog roller. It was like a big, like industrial, like convenience store hot dog roller, ripe for the taking. They weren't using it anymore. It was just up in like the storage area upstairs. And none of us ever grabbed it. It was like the biggest regret we have, because I bet it's still there. I wonder if I could just like walk up there one day and just grab this thing.
Still there.
But to have that would be super cool.
You can get those fairly cheap.
Yeah. Jay, if you remember, we had a whole slush puppy and hot dog area.
I remember, so it was in the same area. So I remember the slush
Yeah.
puppies, 'cause it was on like that back wall there.
The hot dogs weren't long lived. They were kind of more of a hassle to deal with. They were tucked in the back of the store, not enough people. So there was just like wrinkly, dry hot dogs at the end of every night that you just threw away.
I feel like those need to be like at the counter. Like you can't put those in a separate section.
Yeah, you can't tuck them away in the back.
That's funny. We talked before we started recording. I was like, oh shit! It sucks that Joe's not going to be here on account of all the beefs because this is a gas station episode and we have two guys that worked at a gas station for years, and then we didn't bring it up at all the whole time. So yeah, maybe he probably would have brought it up at some point.
Yeah, me and Joe got our starts pumping gas.
My brother used to work there with the two of them. A bunch of our friends.
I still miss it. Like I don't miss pumping gas. What I mean is like I miss like full serve gas stations existing because they're so few and far between now. I was at one not long ago, but you never know when you're pulling into a gas station. You never know. It's never obvious that it's a full serve one.
Some states are different. Like some states, it's still like required that everything's full serve.
Yeah,
right?
I think New Jersey or something.
In Oregon.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I pulled into one recently and I didn't know it was. And someone popped out of the booth and was like, here, I'll pump your gas. And I'm like, okay, yeah, this is cool.
I got like this really eccentric Spanish guy. And he's like, would you like regular? I was like, yeah, please, I'll do regular.
You know what's interesting is actually up until fairly recently, like what a few years back, it was outlawed in Massachusetts to have like the stopper.
Yep.
So like the automatics of the gas, it was only available like you worked at a gas station, you as an employee could have them on those pumps, but they weren't allowed on pumps that like we pumped our own gas to just like be able to take your hand off and
they're still not there. Yeah, that's why I wedged the fucking gas cap under it.
I just always put like if I had like a Red Bull can or something in my car, I would just like wedge something to hold it.
It's so stupid. Now we have it though.
Well, we had it when we were kids. They were a thing. They like it was when we started getting our license. They got outlawed. It's like fuck you.
To be fair, we weren't to be trusted.
Sure. I don't want to rant on too long. We've covered everything. Again, it sounds like in Canada this show was very popular. So I mean, for us, it's completely out of ignorance. We just it wasn't on our radar. Didn't know about it. It's funny because of how big it was, and because, as we said, it definitely has shared audience with a lot of the other Canadian shows we've covered. But it never hit our ears. So again, I want to just before we get into the green light or cancel, thank both Garrett and Curtis who recommended that we do this one on Instagram. And if you guys have shows you want to do, again, do the same thing. Email us, Instagram, X, whatever.
Just out of curiosity, do you know if either of those people were Canadian or were they?
I don't know. I'd have to look back. I don't recall necessarily.
Just curious if these came from Canadian people.
I don't remember. I was going through all the DMs. I was like, I got to start getting more of these together. I need to make a master list of all the requests we have.
Yep.
Like specifically in order and then like of time because they'll slip through the cracks sometimes. But we do still encourage you guys to give us more shows because we find out about stuff we didn't know about all the time through you guys. But with all that being said, not to ramble on too long, I want to get into the green light or cancel. And again, Joe's not here. Joe will tell us how he feels after he watches it, and then there'll be a graphic up on our Instagram page later and stuff, so you can check that out. But Nick, I'll start with you.
Yeah, as we poked a little bit at the beginning of the show, this wasn't what I expected at all. So I kind of went into it a little bit surprised, and if I'm being honest, a little bit sour on it. It was just really dry and slow paced, but that's not a bad thing. They did it really well. I think the pace, although it was slow, was entertaining. I really like all the characters. Like they're building a really good like family of cast member a good family of characters that you're going to want to see interact with each other. And I think the plot was good. The little subplot with Oscar the dad and the whole VHS debacle, and with Hank with the boycotting, it was all very simple, but also worked really well. As I said, it wasn't what I expected at all, but I still did thoroughly enjoy this. I think this is a really well-made sitcom, and I am definitely interested to see where Mr. Brent Butt takes us again for another episode. I definitely want to see what the next episode brings. So yeah, this is a pretty easy green light. I liked this a lot.
Gordo.
Yeah, this is a green light as well. The cast was great. The show was funny. It was dry, but it was like, it wasn't so dry that it became a problem. It had the right cadence throughout the whole episode. It was like, they let jokes sit, they let it marinate, good callbacks, good back and forth between everything. I liked it. I'd watch a second episode. So yeah, that's good enough for me. Green light.
Bert.
First sitcom we've covered that I can confidently say Gordo watched. So it must have some kind of strength to it because he watched and retained. I don't think it started off very strong, but it won me over very quickly, and I truly enjoyed this show. We didn't discuss it that much, but I thought it was shot beautifully. It would be nice if I could talk. It was just a great introduction to Oscar and Hank and everyone, and I will probably continue watching this. I'm going to go to Tubi or Plex and check it out once we finish recording this. So green light for me.
I'll be honest. When I first watched it, I usually watch everything a couple times. I wasn't feeling it at first. And like I said, I really needed, at the top of the hour, I needed time to like adapt to Brent's like cadence and like his pacing. I'm like, oh boy. Because a lot, I'll be honest, you know, the Letterkennys and the Trailer Park Boys, like you guys all watch those shows. I don't. I don't really watch any of those other like big Canadian shows, although I love Shoresy. So it took me like a minute to kind of, I don't know, get the vibe. Once I kind of got past that, I found myself liking it more. It's definitely still a little slow in tone for my normal liking. It's a little kind of blandish. But I think they do a nice job creating a world, and I did get some laughs out of it. And I would be curious to watch a little bit more. So I will give it the green light. I think there's enough meat on the bone there for me to safely do that. With that in mind, that's 4 out of 5 without Joe's score. So regardless, congratulations to Corner Gas. You do get the green light from us. Again, I want to say thank you to both Curtis and Garrett for recommending the show, and want to encourage you guys to do the same. Send us some pics if you guys have any. But yeah, I want to thank everyone for listening. Go to S1E1pod.com. That's where you can get in contact with us and follow our socials and rate, review, subscribe wherever you can. We stress it all the time. I know people aren't great about doing it, and I myself struggle sometimes with podcasts I listen to. But that stuff, those ratings help a lot when it comes to getting your name out there and helping with the algorithms. And we're just a small podcast. We don't have like any big juggernauts pushing us through everything. So that stuff really does help us. So if you can do us a favor, we would very much appreciate it. But with all that aside, thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you again next week with another new episode. Till then, thank you. Goodbye.
I think we got the best butt.